Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday morning, February the 13th. A lot to talk about this morning. Continue to have a very active weather pattern across the nation. One storm system will slam into the western states over the next couple of days, producing some incredible snowfall amounts in places like the Sierra Nevada mountains of eastern California. That same system crosses the country, produces quite a messy weekend in the northeastern part of the nation with a combination of snow, sleet, rain. Some of that rain can actually be heavy at times. And then we'll have to look ahead. By the middle part of next week, it looks like another storm system will kind of gather strength around the southern states, grab some Gulf moisture, and then head up north and east towards the mid-Atlantic coastline. Still too early to say how far up that coast, how far up the coast that storm will go, but certainly there is an East Coast storm threat for about the middle part of next week. We're talking maybe later Wednesday into the day on Thursday. But first I wanted to start off here with a look at the Madden-Julian oscillation. This is from a posting that is out there right now at arcfieldweather.com. We posted this yesterday, and it gives us an idea as to what to expect over the next couple of weeks. I do believe we're looking for colder than normal conditions across much of the central and eastern states over the next couple of weeks, right through the remainder of February. This is a forecast of the Madden-Julian oscillation. Now, we use this index to track a tropical disturbance that kind of propagates along the equatorial part of the world on a regular basis. And depending on its location, it can give us some strong clues as to temperature and precipitation patterns in the U.S. or any other part of the world. This time of the year, when the tropical disturbance moves into a location, or what we call a phase number 8 or phase number 1, that usually is correlated with colder than normal conditions across the central and eastern states. And indeed, the way to look at this kind of a plot is the Madden-Julian oscillation rotates in a counterclockwise fashion on this kind of a plot here. So what we are looking at, let me clear the page here. What we are looking at is right here, February 12th time frame. This is the forecast going in this direction right here all the way to February 26th. In other words, the MJO indeed rotates into phase 8, through phase 8, and then into phase 1 over the next couple of weeks. And indeed, we'll show in a moment here, that again is generally correlated with below normal temperatures across much of the central and eastern states. We have taken empirical observations, historical observations with the different phases or locations of this tropical disturbance, and come up with temperature composite maps that are correlated with the different phases here. In fact, let's take a look at that right now. And here are the different phases for the MJO this time of the year. Again, this changes depending on the time of the year. In fact, phase 8 and phase 1 in the middle of the summer is usually a favorable sign for hurricanes in the southern or eastern part of the nation. This time of the year, when you're in the middle of February, phase 8 and phase 1 generally lead to colder than normal weather pattern across the central and eastern states. Here, down here in the lower right, in this boxed in area, this is the temperature composite for phase 8 this time of the year. You can see colder than normal conditions basically across the eastern half of the nation. And then up here in the upper left here, we have phase 1, again, colder than normal conditions shown in blue across much of the central and eastern states. So this is just one of several teleconnection indices we take a look at this time of the year. But again, this is a strong signal for a cold second half of the month across the central and eastern U.S. Now, just to kind of back up or support the notion of colder than weather pattern as based on the forecast of the MJO, here are some model outputs in terms of 2-meter temperature anomalies. This happens to come from an ensemble run of the European model for this current week going forward here, February 12th to February 19th. This is the average 2-meter temperature anomaly, basically the surface temperature anomalies over this 7-day period, and that is a cold look. Whenever you see ensemble runs showing temperatures way below normal. That is impressive indeed. Again, this is the average over the next 7 days or so. Only warmer than normal conditions confined to way down there in the southeastern part of the nation, especially Florida, but virtually the entire nation here is below normal over the next 7 days. Now, we'll go out to week 2. This is running from February 20th to the 27th, virtually to the end of the month of February. Again, quite impressive cold here across the eastern half of the nation, the central U.S., the eastern U.S. And this right here suggests very, very cold conditions for the Midwest, the Great Lakes coming up during this next couple of weeks here. So again, not only does the MJO suggest colder than normal conditions across the central and eastern states, it's backed up by some computer forecast models, again, going all the way through the month of February. Now let's kind of focus in on snowfall here. This is the actual snowfall totals up to date for the northeastern part of the nation. Just wanted to point this out, kind of show this, because it's quite interesting indeed. Some of these totals here, very, very high. Look at eastern part of West Virginia, 60 inches. Southwestern Pennsylvania, up in those higher elevations, 58 inches, 60 inches up northwestern part of Pennsylvania. Really all of interior New England, New York State, especially upstate New York State. Tremendous amount of snowfall for this time of the year. Again, we're right into the middle part of February. There's plenty of winter left. Now, taking a look at the I-95 corridor region from D.C. to New York. D.C. has around 15 inches of snow at DCA, a Reagan National Airport, specifically 14 inches after this latest snowfall. That, believe it or not, is already above the seasonal norm by an inch or so, 1.1 inches specifically. So they've already surpassed the normal amount at Reagan National Airport for the winter season here. A little bit less compared to D.C. across southeastern PA. On average, maybe 10 to 12 inches of snow so far, and anywhere from 11 to 14 or 15 inches or so far in the New York City metro region. So again, very interesting that National Airport, Reagan National Airport, already has surpassed the normal amount for the full winter season. Now here's a snowfall forecast for the next 10 days from the operational run of the GFS, the conventional version of the GFS 0Z last night, again over the next 10 days. And first of all, Sierra Nevada, incredible amounts of snow here. We're talking maybe 7-8 feet of snow over the next 10 days. A lot of that will fall over the next couple of days with a powerful storm system impacting the western U.S. with significant rainfall. Northern California, for example, those lower-lying coastal areas, and significant snowfall across the Sierra Nevada mountains over the next couple of days. And you can see the Rocky Mountains all the way to Colorado getting some significant snowfall. It's been tremendous snow over the last couple of days across the Colorado Rockies, and they'll continue with significant snow from tonight into Saturday in some of those Colorado Rockies. But all the Rocky Mountain states getting some significant mountain snow over the next few days here. Now, again, this goes for the next 10 days. A lot of snow in those areas of interior New York and New England that have already received a lot of snow based on the last map we just saw for the prior snow. They're getting a lot of snow over the next 10 days, that's for sure. And even in the I-95 corridor region, we certainly have some threats. There's a threat of some accumulating snow at the front end of a weekend system in places like Philadelphia, New York City, let's say mid-morning on to midday on Saturday. And then, of course, we'll talk about the possible next midweek threat, Wednesday, Thursday time frame for the Mid-Atlantic region. But a lot going on here in terms of snowfall over the next 10 days. Well, that prior map was the total snowfall for the next 10 days. This is a total liquid equivalent accumulated precipitation over the next 10 days. So if you get a ton of snow and melt that, that's the number that we see here on this particular forecast map, again using the 0Z run of the GFS. All these maps from tropicaltidbits.com. First of all, the western U.S. gets pounded Again, this storm system over the next couple of days will produce some heavy rainfall amounts in those lower lying areas across the coast of California, and tremendous snowfall amounts in some of those Sierra Nevada mountains. This is significant precipitation, and it'll be in the form of snow out in those higher elevations. But you can see all the way down to Southern California some decent rainfall amounts. This is 2+ inches, 3+ inches of rainfall over the next 10 days, all the way down to Southern California. Virtually, it looks like every single state in the nation gets some kind of precipitation over the next 10 days. A lot going on here across the eastern third of the nation as well over the next 10 days. We have a major storm system impacting the west over the next couple of days. That moves all the way across the country and impacts a wide area in the northeastern part of the nation this upcoming weekend, and some of that will include some heavy rainfall as well as accumulating snow. Let's now take a look at the upper level jet streak. This is at the 250 millibar level, way up there in the upper part of the atmosphere. I've kind of shown this forecast loop in recent videos just to show how active the weather pattern is. When you see strong jet streaks in the upper part of the atmosphere, that really gives a strong indication that there will be an active weather pattern with multiple storm systems. Indeed, that looks like that will continue for the next week or so. Let's just move through. This is beginning today with a powerful jet streak up across the northeastern part of the nation. Again, upper part of the atmosphere here. Whenever you see jet streaks like this, that it tends to tell me there's strong circulation in the atmosphere that will produce strong upward motion down at the lower levels, and that in turn produces clouds and precipitation in our surface low pressure system. So this is something important to monitor, and just see one repeating jet streak after another at the upper levels of the atmosphere. This is now into the upcoming weekend, and we talked about that western storm coming all the way into the northeastern states, certainly supported in the upper part of the atmosphere by strong jet streaks. Continue to move forward here, still remaining very active now into the early part of next week. You see again very strong upper level winds here, and going into now the middle part of next week, and this is when we could be dealing with a storm system right in this area right here, somewhere along the mid-Atlantic coastline here, somewhere around Wednesday or Thursday of next week. This is the 250 millibar wind forecast map for next Wednesday. Go out a little bit farther in time, and again, still very active looking weather pattern, multiple storm systems to deal with at least over the next 7 or 10 days or so, and my gut feeling is that well beyond that as well. Well, now let's take a look at the surface maps, and we just saw that strong upper level jet over the northeastern part of the nation, and here indeed strong storm system that is producing decent snowfall up across southeastern Canada. Some light rain or drizzle right now falling across D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, with plenty of fog as well. Temperatures have risen to a little bit above freezing for a change here, and this actually clears on out this afternoon out of the I-95 corridor region, and generally just cloudy skies, maybe partly sunny skies this afternoon. The winds will begin to kick up, and temperatures will go up to near 50 degrees for afternoon highs, places like D.C., Philadelphia, maybe 45 degrees or so in New York City. That will produce some, certainly some melting of the snow from earlier in the week. Then we move forward here, a kind of a cold, windy day to end the week across the northeastern part of the nation, and here is that western storm system as of tomorrow morning, again continuing to produce some significant snowfall in those higher elevations of the Sierra Nevada, for example, and all other Rocky Mountain states going forward here. Colorado Rockies getting pelted with significant additional accumulating snow from tonight through the first half of the upcoming weekend, and rain in those lower lying areas all the way down to Southern California and the Baja California region of Mexico as well. Now, this storm system just crosses the country and produces some precipitation across the central U.S., but then really gets its act going in the northeastern quadrant here during the upcoming weekend. So we'll see that here just moving forward. Spills out, that low pressure area spills out over to the middle of the country by early on Saturday, and then we start to get kind of a double barrel system headed towards the mid-Atlantic, northeast U.S. Great Lakes. There'll be one system on Saturday that still will feature a lot of cold air in the northeastern part of the nation. And one of the things I've been looking at here, the strong cold high pressure system right here in southeastern Canada. As we begin the day on Saturday, as we begin the weekend, that anchors in a cold air mass right in this region here. That cold air will be reluctant for a while to give up its ground. It'll be reluctant to retreat to the north and east when it's anchored by strong high pressure, as it will be on Saturday. As a result, the precipitation that kind of quickly moves in from the north and west to the south and east into the I-95 corridor region, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City on Saturday, will be accompanied by some cold air, certainly cold air at the surface. And I think there's going to be a thump of snow on the front end here, especially north of the Mason-Dixon line. I think places like Allentown to New York City, a few inches of snow on the front end, possibility here. Even snow accumulations down to southeastern PA, talking maybe mid-morning to midday, early afternoon on Saturday. D.C. also could get some front-end snow or sleet by mid-morning on Saturday. Ultimately, it changes over to rain, but again, there can be some accumulations on the front end, again, primarily north and east of that Pennsylvania-Maryland border, southeastern PA, but especially east-central PA, northeastern PA, New York City, interior New Jersey, northwest New Jersey. Expect some snow accumulations on the front end. By Saturday night, mainly rain, New York City, Philadelphia, D.C., and much of the Mid-Atlantic region. And some of this rain can actually fall heavily at times. This is the same system, or at least a kind of a reproduction of that western storm system after it crosses the nation. It really intensifies by the time it reaches the Ohio Valley by Sunday morning. And with a track up to the north and west of the I-95 corridor region, certainly expect warmer air to ride up far to the north along the eastern seaboard, probably temperatures reaching 60 degrees in D.C. on Sunday for highs, maybe 50 in the 50s, Philadelphia, New York City, with some rain, even a chance of a rumble of thunder or two on Sunday going into the midday hours. Now we'll go forward in time here, and there is a strong cold front right in this area right here as of midday on Sunday. Notice again with that inland track, the snow is kind of confined to the western part of the Mid-Atlantic region, the interior part of New England and upper New York State as well. That could be significant, an all-out blizzard condition in some areas right in this area right here in the cold sector of this strong storm system, now down to 987 millibars. Again, a strong cold front will kind of sweep the from west to east by midday on Sunday, and we'll go out a little bit farther in time now. And here, the cold front off the coast by Sunday evening. Could be some areas that change from rain to snow on the backside. Probably not going to happen in much of that D.C., Philadelphia corridor. Maybe New York City that can change over to snow showers on Sunday evening. That storm continuing to intensify, now down to 982. There will be strong northwest winds by Sunday night. Temperatures will plunge, and this is that cold air mass that's moving in. We'll go a little farther in time, and this is by Monday morning. This is just a very cold shot of air with strong northwest winds pushing that cold air into the Mid-Atlantic region by the time we get to Monday of next week. And cold air will just dominate this whole part of the nation, not only Monday, but right into the middle part of next week. And indeed, as we saw up front, could be a cold pattern across the central and eastern U.S. for the next couple of weeks here. Not every day will be below normal, but on average, you take any 5-day period, I think, for the rest of the remainder of February, and it'll be below normal in the central and eastern U.S. Now, let's move forward here and this is, again, some very cold air here by Tuesday of next week. We're seeing thickness values here, and we often point out these dash blue lines here, thickness values 492, even lower than that. That is below zero type temperatures up across the northern plains, southern part of Canada as well. Now, by Tuesday, we have this system starting to show some snowfall here, accumulating snowfall over the Mississippi Valley region. By the time we get to Tuesday night, it will be able to tap into some Gulf moisture right in this area right here. You can see this flow of air. This is the area to watch when not only the southern and the southern U.S., but ultimately the eastern states here by the middle part of next week. So let's go out a little bit farther in time, and that will encounter a lot of cold air up across the mid-Atlantic, northeastern U.S. This is now next Wednesday, the 19th of February. Some heavy rainfall down by the Florida Panhandle associated with this system, and we have not only a very strong high here over the northern plains, but kind of extends all the way out here, a very strong high pressure to the north and to the northwest, and we'll just have to wait and see exactly where this ends up here. Let's go out a little bit farther in time. Again, this is just one model run here by the time we get to middle of the week here, and this particular model run on the GFS has it kind of suppressed to the south and east. Definitely do not want to write this system off, though. This could end up being right in this area right here. Again, we saw those strong upper level jet streaks to the north here. That's telling me there's possibilities that this could be a strong system right in this area. Again, we're talking Wednesday or Thursday of next week, almost a week away, indeed a week away. So we'll have to just monitor this over the next several days, but it certainly will encounter a lot of cold air in this part of the nation, not only the early part of next week, but right through the middle part of next week as well. And indeed, it looks like a cold pattern for the central and eastern states over the next couple of weeks, and a big pounding of precipitation out in the western U.S. over the next couple of days. Heavy rainfall in coastal areas of California, for example, especially northern California, and tremendous snowfall in some of those higher elevation locations over the next few days and indeed over the next couple of weeks. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.